All right. So this is ENE 530, Applied Engineering Business Analysis, and we are ENERTRAN, Energy Transition. This is our business case proposal. I'm Alexander Mason, along here with my colleagues, Beeior and Charles. Next slide. So our outline of what we're going to discuss today is going to be our introduction, our business needs, stakeholder analysis, requirements, solution evaluation, proposed solution, implementation and next steps, and then plus the conclusion. So the executive summary. So in context, under Executive Order 14057, federal agencies must transition to sustainable energy systems. So our proposal is going to be electrification of federal buildings using ESPCs, emphasizing on the heat pump technology. So the key outcomes are 65% greenhouse gas emission reduction by 2030, carbon neutrality by 2050, and up to 50% heating and cooling cost savings. And then the call to action is immediate implementation to meet decarbonization goals. So our problem statement. So the current state, federal buildings rely on fossil fuels, especially natural gas boilers. Issues with that is there's high greenhouse gas emissions, the inefficiencies of fossil fuel systems, 60 to 70% efficiency versus 300 to 400% for heat pumps. So the need, again, is going to, we want to comply with Executive Order 14057 and cost savings. So the impact, the Department of Energy estimates $1 billion of annual energy cost savings post electrification. So our solution overview. So our proposed solution, electrification using heat pumps. And again, the technology highlights it's 3 to 4 times conventional systems for efficiency, renewable integration, so powered by solar or wind, and the scalability of modular designs for diverse buildings. So their financial model, ESPCs eliminate upfront costs and guarantee savings. I'll pass it off.
Thanks, Alex. So we did look at alternative solutions. We considered different alternatives. One is natural gas boiler upgrades, and another is hybrid systems, and a third solution we considered is centralized renewable systems. We have some limitations, even though we can talk about the benefits. For the natural gas boiler upgrades, there are marginal efficiency gains. However, the solution is non-compliant with decarbonization goals. For hybrid systems, this could be an interim solution, but it is limited when it comes to emission reduction. For centralized renewable systems, this has high implementation costs and it has longer timelines. Next slide, please. We did a stakeholder analysis, and our number one stakeholder, of course, is federal agencies. They are the decision makers and beneficiaries of our project or our analysis. The facilities managers, they have operational oversight and input. The ESCOs, in this case, ENERTRAN, our company, will do the project execution and performance guarantees. Another stakeholder is the public and taxpayers. By doing the analysis, this will provide reduced energy costs and climate benefits to the public and taxpayers. The last stakeholder that we want to talk about is the workforce organizations. They have a key role in training and deployment of the new proposition. Next slide. So we looked at the value proposition that ENERTRAN is bringing. We have tangible values. So for tangible values, it's going to be $1 billion in annual energy savings and 70% greenhouse gas emission reduction with renewables. And also we looked at intangible value that this will bring. This will provide leadership in climate action. It would improve public health from reduced pollution, and it would provide enhanced operational reliability. Next slide, please. I will go ahead and hand this over to Charles.
Thank you, Bill and Alex. Now I'm going to present the implementation plan we developed, ENERTRAN developed for this project. There are basically three phases. The phase one is infrastructure assessment and pilot project. The infrastructure assessment, it can be with preliminary assessment and also investment grade audit. The phase two, full scale deployment using SPCs. You can consider all the process, including the construction. The phase three, post-implementation, monitor and optimization is like a misery verification to see what can be improved. The timeline is aligned with the 2030 and 2050 goals of federal government. Workforce development, we need to train a lot of workers for heat pump installation. Next slide, please, Alex. There are a lot of risks associated, and ENERTRAN already see a solution to mitigate these risks. One of big risks is workforce gap, because we don't have enough workforce training. So we need to do partnership with training institutions. Financial uncertainty of these results of these projects. So we need to hire third-party companies to validate the savings. Infrastructure challenge. We intend to do modular incremental upgrades to mitigate this challenge. And supply chain disruption. If we have problems with supplies, to avoid this, we must divest to have diverse supplies and stock building. And against stakeholder resistance as a new technology, we must educate and customize training for them. And about climate specific risks, we need to take care, because heat pumps sometimes have problems operations in cold climate. So we need to use specific models for cold climate situations. Next slide, please, Alex. For that, we have some support legislation. Basically, the number one is the Executive Order 14057 from US federal government that accomplished a lot of emission reduction mandates. We have another legislation that support the funding for this project. There's the Inflation Reduction Act that's called IRA. That's funding specific for clean energy upgrades. We have a worldwide agreement, Paris Agreement. That's a global leadership in decarbonization. For a lot of countries are involved in this agreement. And we can also have some benchmarking with other countries that are more developed than US in heat pumps application, like Germany and Sweden. Next slide, please, Alex. So at the end, installing and providing heat pumps using GSPCs, it proves to be a cost-effective decarbonization process. And sometimes we need the support of extra funding like IRA, and this will address compliance, efficiency, and climate goals. And we also have in the final report more details with a pilot case study, as well with SWOT analysis and explanation about Executive Order 1457, and as well the explanation about heat pumps. And at the end, right now, ENERTRAN, the next steps would be approve pilot projects, leverage SPC for implementation as soon as possible. And this will position the federal government as a global sustainability leader. So this is all we have. Thank you, everyone, all team members, and we finish the presentation now. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.